All right, now that we have our requirements for the ShapeNode class, Logan, let's go ahead and jump on over into Visual Studio and create the class.
All right, so let's begin by jumping to the classes folder and adding a new item. This item is going to be the ShapeNode class. We'll add this in, and the first thing I'll do is take classes out of the namespace. Then I'll turn around and address the ShapeNode class itself so that it extends node.
Okay.
So ShapeNode is a node. Next, we can go ahead and put in our fields for this ShapeNode. The first thing we have is the static ShapeNode list called shapes. This is going to be a private static list of shape nodes called shapes. And let's see, get some spelling. There we go. All right. Next, we're going to have the transform node that we're linked to. This is going to be a private transform node field called transform node. Next, we're going to have a public property to allow read-only access to this field. So this is going to be a public transform node property called transform node. And it is only going to have a get accessor. That accessor is going to return the transform node field. So we'll return, let's see, this dot transform node.
Okay.
And it takes care of the property, and I think that's it for fields and properties.
So let's go ahead and move on to the static constructor.
Okay. So we'll have a static shape node. And all the static constructor is going to do is create the list. So in this skeleton section, I'm going to go ahead and just do that, initialize the list. Where we take shapes and set that to a new list of shape nodes. Simple enough.
Mm-hmm.
Next, let's skeleton in the method for
the public
constructor. So this will be a public shape node. And this is going to need to take in a string for the name. We're not going to leave a default constructor for ShapeNode.
No.
Since a ShapeNode is the integral data component, there's no reason to have ones that are unnamed.
That's right.
So we'll be taking in a string name for the constructor, and then I'll leave that for the skeleton for the public ShapeNode constructor.
Okay. So next, let's go ahead and set up the public static void show all method.
All right, public static void show all. And we'll leave it as a skeleton as well because we're going to need to deal with looping and writing. And the final thing that we have is a public static void remove node.
And this one, Logan, you can go ahead and code it in because it's so easy.
So we've got remove node. Alright, remove node. It needs to take in a shape node to remove. So we'll take in shape node called node.
Back up and change name to node.
Whoops. Shape node. There we go. Node.
Okay.
Now the only thing that this is going to do is remove the given node from the list. So we might as well just drop that in. That is as simple as shapes.remove node. And that's it. So we'll count that as the skeletoning, and that finishes off the node and the static constructor methods.
Okay. So it only leaves us having to deal with the public constructor and the public static show all. And then that'll pretty much be it for the ShapeNode class. So pretty easy, to be honest with you. That was quick. So go ahead and do a build. Make sure all builds fine. And it does. We're just not yet making use of ShapeNode's transform node field. So with that, that is going to wrap up this video. Thanks a lot.